Aquí estamos con el famoso chico Aaron Mau, quien acaba de tomar el examen de AP Español, que lo tomaste cuando, ¿hace cuántos días?
Hace como una semana.
6, ¿verdad?
Seis
Hace
días.
una semana. Él tomó el examen de AP Español y él tiene unos consejos para ustedes, mis estudiantes. Aaron Mau, si puedes leer, por favor, la primera pregunta.
Ok, primera pregunta es, ¿cómo fue el examen y cuál fue la parte más difícil? The most difficult part of the test would have to be the part where you have to actually listen to an audio recording and then you need to organize your thoughts and respond to the questions. So there are going to be several different accents at least. There will be South American, there will be Spanish, like España sort of Spanish. And in a way, there might also be a little bit of slang. There was a part where we had a woman who was preparing a meal, and she was organizing her own sort of methods of making the meal. So expect to have a lot of things, and really, other than that, you're not going to have too many issues. The part with reading isn't too bad, and the part
O sea que la parte de escuchar, dices, fue la parte más difícil.
Sí.
¿Qué fue la parte más fácil?
Oh, well, pues la parte más fácil a mí was the reading, which really, after you've been in at least Kumakuras, at least next door, which probably not going to be doing this year, you're going to be reading articles day after day, and you're going to be exposing yourself to a lot of different, really, world themes, so you'll be ready for that.
Ok. ¿Otra parte que quieras mencionar? ¿Otra parte, no sé?
Pues era la parte de hablar. And really the speaking part is just being able to, again, listen to what they're speaking to you, and then you need to respond to that. So in the room we had about maybe 30 other people. I don't know if it'll change, but it's really difficult to organize your thoughts and be able to speak them when you've got maybe 30 or to 40 other people in the room with you. So really just making sure that you speak all the time and be able to organize your thoughts, get into conversations with Senior Peterson or your friends. That'll really help you out with the spoken and responding part.
Ok. Gracias. Vamos a continuar con pregunta número 2. ¿Qué dice?
Pregunta número 2 dice que en cuanto al día de estudio personal, ¿qué recomiendas a un estudiante que haga de septiembre a mayo?
Es como el day-to-day estudiar, ¿verdad? O sea, día a día estudiando. ¿Qué recomiendas?
Y a mí mucho depende en tu curiosidad. A lot of it depends on really how into it you are. I listen to a lot of music, and really that's just the way I study. I really like music. I've been in band for quite a while. Just listening to Uruguayan groups really helps you get down those accents, and then just by exposing yourself to more and more stuff, you get to see more of the world.
Por ejemplo.
Por escuchar la música que viene de México, yo sé más que tiene que ver con la cultura de México. Yo sé un poco más que entonces, esa parte yo tengo que organizar mis pensamientos.
Sí, tienes que organizar antes de contestar, ¿verdad que sí?
Sí. Y entonces por eso yo he necesitado averiguar y revisar los temas del mundo, y por eso yo he encontrado y entendido más vocabulario, y yo pude practicar de hablar más, y
Ok.
parece que está bien.
¿Qué más recomiendas? El day-to-day estudiar.
Ok. Entonces yo tomo notas. I take notes every day, just of words that you don't hear all the time. Usually you'll hear lots of words repeated over and over again, but there will be those times when you hear just other words that don't sound
En clase.
en clase, ¿verdad? Y entonces tienes que tomar take notes, and then speak to your professor about it afterwards. Just like, does this come from this verb, or what tense would you use this in? Is this slang? And really just going over that will be a great sort of setup for whatever you got going.
¿Otra cosa que quieras mencionar aquí en cuanto a las recomendaciones, consejos, otra cosa, o ya?
A mí también es importante que sigas hablando con los otros estudiantes y tu profesor. It's very important that you keep talking to just just everyone. And like when you come into Peterson's class, you're going to be in el modo de español, but before the exam, you're definitely not going to be in that mode. You just got up at like 6:15, you're standing in the cold. If it's still at Olympic, you're not going to be in a warm room. So really just being able to transition yourself into a really fluent Spanish-speaking mode is it's really helpful, and I'm sure it helped me squeeze a few more points out of the test.
Bueno, vamos a pasar a la última pregunta. ¿Sí la ves? ¿Sí? ¿Ves la última pregunta? ¿Cuál es la última pregunta? Y si puedes contestarla. Muchas gracias.
Pregunta número 3 dice, ¿qué hubieses querido saber antes del 6 de mayo?
What would you have wanted to know before the date of the test? ¿Verdad? El 6 de mayo.
El 6 de mayo.
¿Qué hubieses sabido? ¿Qué hubieses querido saber tú? Dices ahora, oh, si yo solo hubiese sabido, ¿qué? ¿Y qué cosa?
Entonces, I'd say that the only real things that I would have wanted to know before the test was maybe just go over my vocabulary more. And
Day to day.
Yeah. So going over that. So like I would take notes every day, and I would get into these really long lists of just words that I wanted to make sure I had memorized. But being next door, we didn't have the opportunity to talk every day, so I didn't get to practice those. So if anything, I would have wanted to go over just more of the vocabulary that I had taken, and really be able to make that a part of my fluent speaking. Because when you come down to the ending part where you need to respond, it's really based on what you know. You don't have a lot of sources in front of you of which you can copy a lot of the vocab from. You've got to organize what you know and then be able to interpret it and implement it. So
Get it out, huh? Decirlo.
Yep.
Okay.
Y por eso es todo.
¿Otra cosa que hubieses querido saber?
Tal vez un poco más de qué hubieras hecho, pero a mí me siento muy bien sobre el examen y espero que ustedes también se vayan muy bien.
Que lo pasen, ¿verdad? Con un 5 todos.
Espero que sí.
Gracias, Neptuno, Saturno, famoso Aaron Mau. Muchas gracias. Gracias por la ayuda. Y estudiantes, espero que ustedes también aprendan de él porque él tiene mucha sabiduría en cuanto al español. Chao, nos vemos.
Chao.
Échenle ganas.